My wedding anniversary was this week. And what we did every wedding anniversary was look at our wedding album pictures. We did that every year. So I did that by myself. This is the machine. When he was issued his first machine, it was defective.
His mask.
It goes back to 2012 when he was using his first machine. They had already known for 3 years that they were defective, and yet they were still issuing defective machines causing health issues. I truly believe that it was the root of his cancer, and so do a number of our family members. His last month of his life, he had bleeding in the brain, and he had 25 staples in his head. He went because suddenly he lost his left arm and his legs from the knees down. Cancer had metastasized and also gone to his spine. We met in 5th grade when we were 10, and we actually liked each other in 9th grade. We used to stay after school and talk to each other. We dated 1 year, got engaged, and got married 1 year after that. He was caring, giving, kind. Yeah. I had pulled into the garage, and he had already opened his door and took off his seatbelt, and he said, "I feel like I'm going to pass out." And before I got around the vehicle, he passed out and fell out, hit his head on the car door, and landed on the cement floor. But that was during radiation treatment. We also liked to go to the casino. We'd get a hotel room so when he got tired, he could just go lay down. And valet parking, rented a scooter, everything to accommodate his being able to go. And eventually I had to put him in a transport to just like go to the Pirate games because he wasn't able to walk. I didn't think about it. It was just, I loved him. And I would do anything for him. I hope there aren't many other people in the same situation, because it's devastating.
In June 2021, Philips Respironics recalled millions of breathing devices, making it one of the largest recalls of its kind in U.S. history. With 2 factories near Pittsburgh, Philips had been inserting noise-muffling foam into its popular sleep apnea machines and ventilators. But the foam had been breaking down, releasing potentially toxic and carcinogenic particles and fumes. The company received more than 3,700 complaints about degraded foam and debris in the machines, dating back 11 years, but had not reported the complaints to the FDA as required by law until after the recall. Initially, Philips said the particles and fumes could cause life-threatening illnesses, but then walked that back, saying further testing showed there was no harm to patients. Several toxicology experts dispute that claim, saying the foam poses threats to patient safety. No direct causal connection has been scientifically demonstrated between the machines and cancer. Experts say, like tobacco and asbestos, it could take years to establish whether such ties exist.
It's not an easy death you're talking about. It's not like a quick death. It's an arduous step. At first, I didn't think they were seizures, but basically what was going on is the walls of my lungs are shot now. Your tumor or your growth, whatever you want to call it, it was on the right side first. So I noticed as soon as I went up the stairs, I was totally exasperated, exhausted, and I started playing, and I just could feel like I had no air at all. I either use the machine and take a chance it's gonna hurt me, or I don't use the machine, I could die tonight. So I thought, I have a better chance with the machine. It totally changed my life. When I first had it, it was like dream sleep. It was just like, actually looked forward to sleeping. I know it sounds weird, but I knew when I was going to sleep, there was going to be no episodes. There was going to be no, it was like peaceful time, you know? I started noticing, like, in the reservoir, I would see, it looked like little black stuff and just like weird stuff. So I remember thinking, like, what the hell is this crap? And I started noticing, like, I was having a hard time doing anything. If I loaded drums to a show, I felt like I was, like, really super tired on loading these drums. But I just noticed that my whole quality of life just was deteriorating. You know, I couldn't work anymore, and I had to go on disability, which I got first time. Hey, Mom, how you doing? And my doctor, you know, I didn't get a chance to tell you, but she said a lot of her patients have been affected by the CPAP machine and that. Yeah, and she said that she thinks my infection came from that. And she said, you know...
Why is it taking so long for them to give you another machine? Mike, what you would do to get the machine?
No, I'm on the list, Mom, so they'll fast track me. I'm getting it as quick as I can.
They've been saying that for months.
Yeah, no, I know, but they did send me an email, so...
Yeah.
You know,
how many days can't you talk, hon?
Probably like 3 weeks.
Okay, hon. Love you.
Yeah, love you too, bye-bye. Yeah, if you don't mind, it's just flips down. You press it. And I'll give you these and the black.
Okay, don't speak. Can I get you anything? It's been devastating, and that's probably an understatement. It ruined his life. He'll never get that time back. He'll never be given another chance to do everything he didn't get to do.
I probably should be really mad at them, but I just think one day they'll have to answer, you know, for what they've done to everybody. And I can't believe how many people like me are going through all these surgeries because of their bad decision to release a machine that was so destructive.
How do you live with yourself? How do you justify doing what you did? How do you explain it to your family? How do you live with yourself?
Philips has got a couple layers of management above them, so I have no idea about the circumstances or the people or... No, when they bought the company was intact and it had people that were doing the job right. They bought that company. At the time, you figured, well, they got a good company, it's going to be fine. But the fact of the matter is, most of the key people were gone.
Jerry McGinnis started working on the company that would become Respironics in 1968. Respironics developed an innovative technology that resulted in a product that was to become a breakthrough in the treatment of obstructive sleep apnea.
And it took off like a rocket. We had orders immediately, and we were in back order for almost a full year. It was so intense that the doctors were calling in to Jerry McGinnis saying, look, I'm going to sue you if you don't get me a Sleep Easy right now. I've got a patient whose throat I'm going to have to cut if I can't get a Sleep Easy for him.
I never did see the factory again after we sold the company. I didn't get invited to meet any of the managers, or they bought us and ran. We told the story that this is a product we're selling, the patient is dependent on it. The people who were closest to it knew how they could hurt somebody.
So we wanted to share some of our main reporting findings with you about some of the breakdowns that happened at Royal Philips prior to the recall.
Oh my goodness. That's a shame.
Criminal.
Complaints that came into the FDA after the 2021 recall shows nearly 2,000 cases of cancer were reported by users of the devices and others, along with 600 cases of liver and kidney illnesses, 17,000 respiratory ailments, and at least 370 reports of death. Philips released a statement saying the reports are not evidence of harm and that the company's top priority is patient safety. It says that it regretted, quote, the distress and concern that the June 2021 recall has caused for patients and care providers. We deeply apologize for that and continue to work hard to resolve this, end quote. It further stated that additional testing shows the foam carries, quote, no appreciable harm, end quote, to patients. The FDA has questioned some of Philips's test results and considers the recall a Class 1 level, the most severe, saying the devices can cause serious injuries and death.